Since the dawn of time, there has been one question that everyone has been asking. That question is, what is candy? To answer this question, we enlisted the help of two experts in the field of research to explore the world of candy and ask the hard questions. We sent the creators of Moss and current hosts of Have You Nerd into Walmart to analyze and explain what is and what isn't candy. We also asked them to find a real-life candy expert and ask their opinion. And now,
What is candy?
What is candy?
Because there's a lot of debate out there about, what's candy? The English have a different definition of what's candy. The Japanese have different definitions of what candy. All across the world, people have different definitions of what's candy. And so we decided to talk about what is candy, especially from the American perspective. What is truly candy from Josh and I's perspective? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go into Walmart and we're going to talk about what things are candy that we're going to see in the candy aisle.
So basically, quick rundown, we have just quintessential candy, hard candies, quintessential, think Wonka, Nerds, that kind of thing.
Nerds, Runts,
Jolly
Ranchers, stuff like that is something that, in our perspectives, we both share, is very much candy.
It's just, it is candy. That's what candy is.
Candy bars, which we really don't classify as candy because it's very chocolate-based.
There's nothing candy about them. They're just sweet and bar.
They're sweet bars. Chocolate is its own category. You can't lump chocolate in with candy. Most people would agree with that, I think. You have taffies. Taffies are kind of on the edge there. We'll talk about that a little once we get inside. What is, how taffy can you get with it still being candy? How fudge-like can you get? There's certain things that have a consistency that I really don't think falls under the category of candy, and that's where a lot of the debates are going to be, is in things that are taffy-like or fudge-like that are really on the edge right there. Oh, gum is its own category. Mm-hmm. But there's going to be also debate about that one because of the quintessential double bubble, which people will lump in as candy, but is it really candy or is it really more gum?
It's just gum. He disagrees with that.
I disagree. I'd say it's more candy.
It is gum. It's gum.
But we'll discuss that more once we get in there as well. So this is the introduction. We're going to head in and we'll start recording and we'll see how it goes. We're looking for the candy aisle right now. We can't find it. I've lost the candy aisle.
Well, it's not the candy aisle, but it's pretty good.
Don't eat Legos. It's not candy. Just saying. I wanted to make this detour because it's important. Don't mix up Legos with candy. You'll choke and die. We're in the game aisle. This is incriminating. My parents will kill me. This is the dog food aisle. This is not candy. Okay, as we can see, we're in the candy aisle. It says so up on the sign right above. That's going to be blurry and you're not going to be able to see that.
No, you can see it.
Oh, you can? Okay, well, see, first thing we have here is a big category dedicated to gum.
Tic Tacs. No, they are there.
We do see Tic Tacs.
What do you know?
We don't see
That's
bubble gum.
interesting because we classified the Tic Tacs as candy.
But they're not. Okay, and see, this is where we get to stuff where I think it's more beneficial. Like we got hard candy, Jolly Ranchers here. Mm-hmm. More candy. Okay, hard treasures. We got a lot of hard candies here. These ones are almost debatable on whether they're candy or not.
No, see, that's like quintessential candy,
it
except
is.
for the
peppermints.
peppermints.
Peppermints don't count as candy.
No.
We're classifying as something different.
We are still next to the gum, so it's okay.
Yeah. Now we move into something very interesting, very controversial. It's these things. Now, we know that real licorice really can't fall under the category of candy because no one really eats it thinking that, oh, hey, this is candy, unless you're from, like, a really healthy family. So licorice doesn't fall into that category, but what about Twizzlers? what do Twizzlers fall into the category of? Are they real candy or not? And we're going to leave that up for you guys to decide. Talk about that in the comments below, and we'll see that. But we've got all sorts of Twizzler stuff here in the candy aisle. Okay. Also, we've got, once again, more hard candies. We've got Suckers, Sugar Babies. Now, this is interesting because Sugar Babies are in that pack, and they're milk and caramels. And remember, we're talking about our milk and caramel-based things really under the category of candy. We've got things like Milk Duds and, help me out here. Milk Duds, Whoppers. Those things really fall under the category of candy. Now we come over here, we've got some other stuff. We've got Skittles. Skittles fall under the category of quintessential candy. They're small, they're sugary, they're fruit flavored. I think fruit flavored is a big part of candy to me. You can debate about that, but I really think that most things that I really associate with being candy are very sweet and very artificially fruit flavored. Chocolate, once again, I discredit chocolate as being a candy because chocolate really deserves its own category. Things like caramels and stuff are very similar to chocolate as well and deserve their own category.
Okay, now, what about these?
I'd say that those are under the category of chocolates themselves. Now, they're hard and suckable.
Mm-hmm. And that's part of what we defined quintessential candy as.
That's true. But because of the very chocolatey nature, I think it almost puts them more under the chocolate category than it would under the candy. Also, I'd have to talk about
Werther's.
texture.
That's their name. Werther's. I could not think of that name.
Werther's. Now, Werther's are really hard for me because I really like Werther's.
They're hard. They're caramel. They are
they're
quintessential candies. In my mind.
They're on that line.
Give me your argument.
My argument is that when I think of candies, Werther's aren't the first thing that pop into my mind. If a kid asks its mom, I want candy, mom's not going to pick up a bag of Werther's and be like, here's some candy.
I disagree with that because think about the original Werther's commercial. The kid asks his grandpa for candy and he gives him Werther's.
You know, I can still remember the very first sweets given to me by my grandfather. They were Werther's Original, and I was 4. I had a bit of trouble opening that shiny golden wrapper, but then, well, I'll never forget that first taste. Sweet and creamy and uncommonly good. I remember feeling I must be someone very special when my granddad gave me his wonderful butter candy. Well, now I'm the granddad. And what else would I give my little grandson but my Werther's Original? After all, he's someone very special too, you know.
And the whole point is they're saying, hey, you may not think our thing is candy,
I
but
don't
we're
think
going
so.
to prove that it's candy.
You're wrong. All right, let's turn around and tackle the Snickers and Milky Way.
Milky Ways, Snickers, look at the size of these things. These are incredibly small, so you
These
might
are
think,
bites.
okay, these might be under the category of candy. But I'd say that they don't. I think they fall very much under the category of candy bar or chocolate bar. Because of that, it's the chocolate, once again, is the primary thing here. And if you mix that with something else, it makes it into more of a chocolate bar, candy bar kind of category. Not quintessential candy. You don't think of this when you want candy. Lifesavers, the hard Lifesavers, soft Lifesavers, once again, fall into that category of candy for me.
Now, see, the hard ones, absolutely. But the soft ones are more, they're gummies.
Mm-hmm.
And I put them under the more gum category.
And this is an argument that we've been having between Josh and I. Are gummy items candy? Because gum is its own category. I'm not going to deny that. But when we looked over there, we saw the orbits, we saw that. That's what I think of when I think of gum. When I think of gummy items, I think that they are candy. I really do associate those with candy. I grew up with getting Lifesaver gummies as candy.
See, I never got those as candy. Or Airheads are not gummies. These are way too taffy to be gummy.
But they're very much, they're the sugar-loaded, sweet,
But
berry
they're
kind of...
so chewy. They're the same consistency as taffy. They're Laffy Taffy. They're the ripoff of Laffy. See, they're even right next to each
I'd
other.
put Laffy Taffy under that category of candy, though.
You don't put it under the taffy category?
No, when I think of taffy, I think of saltwater taffies. I think of savory taffies. I distinguish sweet taffies from more of those savory taffies.
Nah, see, I don't, because they're all taffies. So, all right, here we go. Haribo gummy bears.
Okay, and see, I would put things like Lifesavers above gummy bears, but I'd say gummy bears fall under the category of candy.
See, I do too, just because they're so traditionally candy.
Here's another interesting question we have. Candy corn.
Yes,
Candy
we
corn
need
is-
your help on this one,
Candy
people.
corn is its own category almost. You're like,
Can you
you've got
find any?
candy, you've got candy. Yeah, there's some right here.
Oh, there's?
Yeah.
Oh,
You've
sweet.
got candy, you've got candy corn. What on earth is candy corn?
It's
It-
got candy in the name.
But it's sweet, it's salty,
It's nasty.
I agree with that. I really don't like candy corn. But yeah, those-
Sweet tarts. Sweet tarts are quintessential candy. Here we go. This is the Wonka section.
This is the Wonka section. This is what I think about when I think of candy. Do you want candy? I think, yes, I'd like some sprees. I'd like some sweet tarts. I'd like some Nerds and Runts, Gobstoppers, Mike and Ike's. These are the things I think of when I think of candy. We've got hot tamales, which are really hard for me to put into the category of candy.
I would. I'm going to go ahead and put them there.
The heat, though, you get from them makes them very much different than a candy. You don't think of, I want something very spicy as a candy.
Well, how many spicy candies are there?
Not a lot.
Hot tamales. That's it.
Hot tamales. And
So they're not a big enough group to have their own section. I think they just go under candies as a strange one.
Hot Reds, or Red Hots as
Red
well.
Hots.
Those things are always so hard.
Red Hots. Junior mints. What do you do with these?
You would bring up the junior mints.
Of course I would. They're not the chocolate is not overpowering at all. The mint dominates the chocolate in
It's
this.
more like it's hard because they're small. This is the hard area we get into because we have Junior Mints right next to Milk Duds, right next to Whoppers. These are the three big ones that you're like, are these candy?
Not these three.
Not Crazy Nuts
These
or
three.
Raisinets. I mean, those are chocolate covered fruit.
Yeah.
Well, that's its own category. It's like chocolate covered nuts. You don't call those candy. You get to the Milk Duds, Whoppers, and Junior Mints, and you're like, well, do these really count as candy? I associate malt and chocolate together, and so they're very much fall into the chocolate category for me. Caramel and chocolate go well together as well.
Well, caramel and anything go well together
Yeah,
because caramel's awesome.
You don't think of caramel as a quintessential candy thing. Even the little caramel things, I don't really think of as much as candy as I think of as more of a taffy thing. And we're going back to that weird taffy category, which is really hard to define. Are these candy? I really don't agree with them as being classified as a candy. I think of them as more of a chocolate-based. You think of them when you want chocolates. It's very debatable on whether you could have them. Some of these, you got the crunch with the Whoppers, you've got the chew with the Milk Duds, you've got peppermint with Junior Mints, so that obviously disqualifies them as candy. I think that mostly gets us through the rest of these as we look down here at chocolate
Basically.
bars. Chocolate bars, candy bars.
Chocolate's its own category. We
Chocolate's
agree
its
on
own
that.
category. Most of the world, I think, agrees with that. It's not candy. Maybe if you're from a different country, you'll really classify that as a candy.
Yes, if you're from a different country.
You'll classify that as a different candy.
All right, now here's one. They're not in this aisle that we saw. Suckers, lollipops.
Suckers and lollipops were way back there.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, and they fall under the category of candy
Okay.
very much.
Then the last one, I think, marshmallows and Peeps.
Marshmallows, Peeps, and jelly beans. We
And
forgot to
jelly
mention
beans.
jelly beans.
Yes.
Marshmallowy things are really hard once again for me. Marshmallows are very sugar-based. Their consistency isn't gummy though, it's its very own consistency.
Now, we forgot to mention in the car, we did have chalky candy as a
We did.
subcategory. Like, for instance, Pixie Sticks.
Pixie sticks and stuff like that.
Now, here's my argument. Basically, a marshmallow is the same stuff that a Pixie Stick is, only cooked in a certain way.
But it's the fact that it was cooked a specific way that changes it into a marshmallow, which people
But
don't
it's still the exact same core ingredients.
It's
And now, an interview with a real-life candy expert, a random child.
What's the first thing you think of when you think of candy?
I think it's good and I think it's tasty.
Tasty? Would you consider Twizzlers to be a candy?
Yes.
Yes. How about chocolate?
Yes.
Okay. What about marshmallows? Marshmallows candy? Yeah. What about gum? Is gum candy?
Oh, the really poppy bubble gum?
Yeah.
Like bazooka bubble gum? Yes.
That's candy? Alright. What about sugar-free? Can something be sugar-free and candy at the same time?
And there you have it. The expert has spoken. Apparently, everything is candy. Tell us what you think in the comments below. Do you agree or disagree? Like, subscribe, and comment. Thanks for watching.